will, without fail, destroy friendships. Uno, the origin of brilliant memes such as that one guy with the astonishing amount of cards. The Uno reverse card in itself being a brilliant counter-attack to literally any valid point or opinion that you refuse to acknowledge. There are people not subscribed to JK Mason? No, there aren't. So a handful of us, plus good old AI Dusty over here, reckoned we'd continue playing Uno with no house rule, no wacky 0s and 7s, or anything like that. Just bare bones Uno. With good old Dusty not holding back in the slightest at the beginning. Good thing it wasn't a physical box, otherwise its hard drive would have been shattered from that play. And okay, here I go. Typically going for green, which I'm sure you can imagine Jay was not very pleased about.
Oh my god.
And thanks to a lack of house rules, I only had to draw one card and I didn't have the correct card to play. And the AI is cracked! Woo! Luckily, Jaystifer had our back. And after a train of Uno reverse cards, Dusty over here buckled under the pressure and decided to go for Jay again. Oh, and the boss is back again. And you what? The only friendship broken was my friendship with technology. However, you know what would be funny? If we went from one extreme to another. If we went from absolutely no house rules to having all of them, along with utilising the blue rabbit's appearance of all things for the game. You what? And one of these rules I cruelly experienced at the start was stacking. Where I had been brutally massacred with a +8. But it's fine, I inevitably got my revenge on by utilising another house rule, the jump-in rule, where you could simply interrupt the flow of cards. If you have a card that can be stacked, which I did. Thankfully for Jaystifer, he had a +2, which meant he could pair up with mine, and BAM! Got hit with some karma. And you see this 7 card? It meant that I could swap cards with another player. But I'd given Jay a deck with another 7 in it, so I just got my original cards back and we sort of just wasted 2 cards each. And once had placed down a 0 card, which forces everyone to swap hands in the direction of the game, this little play meant I was now winning. But it was pretty short-lived. However, after a few lucky succession of cards, I was now tied with Jeremy. What? What's this card, I hear you ask? Well, it summons this rabbit chap to arm the deck of cards with a literal bomb! And the next person who had to pick up would be blown out of a hat. But in the meantime, let's investigate this card, which distributes 10 cards across all players, including the poor sod who placed it down. However, unfortunately for Jeremy, 5 of them went straight to him, which I couldn't care less about, as it meant that I was still winning and still thriving. I could try this card, but I didn't, and instead that meant that I had to. I was knocked unconscious. By the time I came to, I had suddenly 2 cards. Oh, sorry, I should have said +2 cards, and plus another flipping loss. In my defense, I was not fully conscious due to that unprovoked attack by a rabbit, so like, not really my fault. And am I picking up already? Oh my goodness! And they've already bombed the deck of cards. What? Luckily, it wasn't me who activated it, as Jaystifer got a handful more cards to his deck, and then he helped me wipe out a boom. And look at this. What's this timer card? Well, let me tell you. It means that once you place it down, all players have, I think, 3 seconds to decide what card to place down, which wasn't an issue for me, as my enormous brain means I can think at speeds faster than sound, but did come with this ticking timer sound effect that made the whole gaming experience a lot more stressful. And if he didn't make a decision in time, he'd literally blow up! But thankfully, we prolonged the game for long enough that the lad got bored and just dipped after the card distribution card screwed up everyone's decks. It was quite a while before anyone made any— oh, blooming heck, you want to pick up any more cards, lad? It was quite a while before anyone made any strides towards actually winning the game, as we'd be bombarded with +2 cards, +4 cards, although when I say we, I mean primarily Jaystifer, but after the exchanging of cards, had stolen all of my cards. But thankfully, I was able to snitch on him and tell my opponents my cards, which were now technically his, in the hopes that they'd be able to stop him. And despite our efforts, he had still reached Uno and exchanged cards with Jeremy, who had, by the way, a 4 yellow. How do I know this? Because they were my cards first! And due to my, quite frankly, not particularly honourable tactics, we had prevented him from a victory. But he had still reached Uno later. But so did I! Woo! And despite the terrible frames, I couldn't stop Jeremy. We had lost. We had lost the battle, but we had not lost the war. Subscribe for more Uno, and for a computer that won't blimming screw up the recording right as I was about to win!